Morning, everybody. Pinball here. Happy Saturday. Again, as usual, Friday night for me, but Saturday morning for y'all. This was a video, the one I'm going to do today was one I was planning on putting together over the weekend, but as due to circumstances that actually happened today, I thought this was important to get out immediately. Now, as I've told many people before, I live way out rural in the country, about 8 miles off the main road. My nearest neighbor is a half a mile away. Well, found out today my nearest neighbor, a half a mile away today, had his house vandalized, his front gate and his driveway and his garage door with bright yellow spray paint. People decided to go out and spray swastikas and all sorts of other nice bits of paraphernalia. Now, we're out in the middle of nowhere, and somebody decided to do this. So I had posted the video of 10 things you needed about a week ago, and one of the things I had posted on there were security alarms that you can make at home. Was going to do that this weekend and make the rest of mine, but in light of what happened today, my security alarms are going to be placed in my yard tomorrow, so I'm going to show you guys how to make them today. Okay. What you're going to need for this project, at least for the materials, are a regular old clothespin, a couple of 3/16 inch screws and nuts. Okay. This one is optional. If you're going to mount it outside to a tree, you probably need 1.5 inch, 2-inch screw, flathead. Okay. If you want to mount them inside, because this will also work attached to a doorknob and you can make it an interior alarm, then you probably need a piece of double-sided tape. You'll need a 9-volt battery. You'll need a little alarm. I will place the links to these down in the description. I got these on Amazon for a couple of bucks a piece. But again, I got those a while back, so I don't know what their cost now. But I mean, even if they're at $3, $4, $5, that's fine. It's still a lot cheaper than going out and buying one of these alarms that does the same thing, shoots off a shotgun shell or something like that, because those things will cost you $40. And if you got ADT, hey, that's great for the house, but I don't think you have tripwires out in your yard to set something like that off. Other thing you're going to need is a bottle of super glue. And the last thing you're going to need is something that unfortunately I ran out of, but one of these little things, okay? Chances are you can buy them at the hardware store on Amazon. They're dirt cheap. Or if you've got old handheld video games or something that ran on a 9-volt battery that nobody uses anymore, just cut them out of there. Okay. So here's where you're going to start. You're going to take this clothespin, and if you see on here, I've got 2 little dots. All right. The dot in the front right here, you're going to drill a hole all the way through both sides of the clothespin, so it comes, from one side all the way to the other. The other side, you're going to take the clothespin apart, and you're only going to drill through one side of the clothespin. All right. After that, on the front holes here, you're going to insert each one of your little 3/16 inch screws with the screw head on the inside. Okay, so the nut goes on the outside. So you'll have 2 of these here. The flathead screw, or this would be the double-side tape area, is going to sit right in here, and this would be what you'd use to mount it to a tree or something of the sort. So when you're all done, you're going to get something that looks like this. Okay, you're going to have the screws, if you can see them close there, in the middle. They'll touch, and they're bolted on the outside. The screw in the middle here, this is going to be, again, where I said you're going to mount it to a tree. Okay. So the next step you're going to do is you're going to take your 9-volt battery, and you're going to take your alarm. Okay, alarm, there's the alarm. Okay. First thing you're going to do is glue your alarm to the side of the clothespin, such as so. So it's on the top, whereby the screw's on the bottom. Okay, center it, but you want to put it right up against that nut right here. So as tight as you can get it, but you're going to super glue those 2 together. Then the next thing you're going to do is super glue the battery right next to it. They're right about the same size vertically, so it's actually a nice little neat connection there. All right. But so now what you're going to have is a super glued battery, super glued alarm directly to the clothespin, so they all tie up as one piece together. Okay. Once you finish that, you're going to take the piece that I don't have, and you're going to connect it to the wires that are on the alarm. Obviously, red to red, black to black, and go from there. All right. So what you wind up with is, oh, I'm sorry, take that back. You're going to connect the black wire from the battery connector to the alarm, and then the red wire from the battery connector to one side of the screw here, and the other red wire from the alarm itself to this one here. So when you're done, what you get is something like this. Okay, as you can see, this red wire goes directly from the battery connector here down to the top screw. Let's see, show it from this side, to the top screw. And then the other red wire on the bottom, right here, is going from that screw directly into the alarm. Now, when you plug in the battery here, because you've got all your connections made, make sure you have a piece of plastic in between the two screws and your clothespin. That's what's going to be your trip, okay? I've got a piece of plastic in there right now, as maybe you can see it. If I try to show it, there you go, you can see some of the reflection. There's a piece of plastic in there. Literally, all that is that's a piece of plastic from the cover from the package that the battery came in, okay? Something real simple. What you're going to do then is put a little hole, use a paper punch or something, or even, a pin or anything that you can go right through the plastic, and just make a hole in there. Tie a piece of string, okay? I have a tendency to use upholsterer's thread because it's very strong. A good strong fishing line would work as well. Obviously, you want something that's not going to be seen, but you need something that's going to be strong enough that's not going to break. So you're not going to want a heavy piece of rope, and you're not just going to want a piece of regular thread, okay? Two ways you can work this. You can tie one piece of string here, mount this to a tree, put an O-ring or something, or even just tie it around another tree in the area, run that string all the way between the two, and now you've got a tripwire. Okay, if somebody trips it off, it's going to set off the alarm. The other way to do it, if you want to mount this in the house, tie your piece of string here, mount this with a piece of double-sided tape right to the baseboard or something, tie the other piece of string around the doorknob. When the door opens, it's going to pull this out, set off the alarm. Okay, now, if you don't think this thing's loud, cover your ears, because this is what it sounds like. And I'm going to do this short because it's loud. Okay. That'll definitely wake you up if it's in the house. You will probably be able to hear it somewhat in your yard if it's outside, unless, of course, you're blasting a TV or something. Other advantage to it is this. It doesn't automatically shut off. You have to go out and shut this off yourself. Put the plastic back in. Now, chances are, this will have chased away any intruder. If it doesn't, go out and get the intruder. Be careful, obviously, but obviously there's somebody there. The reason it's important that it doesn't shut off by itself, and I'll just give you a story. This goes back 35 years ago. I used to repossess cars, and we all had car alarms, right? And we used, as the repo guy, we'd be out there, we'd set off the alarm of the car. No big deal. We didn't worry about it. We just stood right there and waited because we knew whoever owned the house is just going to go, oh crap, my alarm went off. And from their bedroom, they're just going to go click and shut the alarm off. Thank you. Now we can get in the car. Okay. Same thing with this. If the alarm goes off in 10 seconds, the intruder goes, oh, the alarm's gone. I can go right back in. This will keep going off until you go out and shut it off. Therefore, that means until you go out and check what the problem was. So obviously, the alarm goes off, you hear it, you turn on lights, you come out with, whatever you're going to use to defend yourself. Chances are somebody's running away, okay? I say this, it's very easy to put together. It'd take you 15 minutes per build to put it together. I know my instructions weren't fabulous, but it's pretty straightforward from what I just said. If you've got even the slightest bit of mechanical know-how, literally all you're doing is hooking up a battery to something to make it work and having a spring device into it. Not difficult to do. Somebody in your household should be able to figure this out pretty simply. Okay. Like I said, had an incident in my neighborhood today in the middle of nowhere. Obviously, this is telling me that SHTF is getting a whole lot closer because we don't have issues out here. And if somebody's going to paint something like that on somebody's house, and trust me, uh, the guy's not German. Let's just leave it that way. Uh, don't ask me why somebody would do this. But now, of course, the rest of the neighborhood is much more on alert as to paying attention to what's going on because this happened sometime overnight last night. Wanted to let you guys know that. I've had a few people ask about this video. If you got any questions on the how to put it together, please leave something in the comments. Feel free to direct email me. I'll help you any way I can. But at least this is a way you can put together some sort of alarm system really cheap. I can't see this costing any more than $5 or $6. And most of the stuff, batteries, clothespins, screws, you've probably already got in your preps anyway. So pretty much the only thing you're going to have to buy is the alarm and maybe the battery connector. So that's pretty much what I got. Everybody try to have a great Saturday morning. I will talk to you later. Pinball out.